find yourself at JFK Airport in Nuevo York, I highly recommend, if you have the time, you swing by the old Saarinen building. This used to be TWA's terminal building. It has been refurbished by Jetblue, and it is a working terminal of sorts these days. You can actually go in there and check in for your flight on Jetblue, but they left all of the good old stuff from the 60s up there. It's called the Saarinen building because a Finnish designer named Saarinen is the one who designed it, and it's become a national landmark, so it's not going to be torn down. In fact, it was vacant for a long time before JetBlue was able to get it back in service. You may recall that some of the scenes from the movie Catch Me If You Can were filmed there. It is really worth the visit. It is a true blast from the past, and it also helped show the airlines at the peak of their glamour era. The airplane on display is a Lockheed L-1649 Constellation. To be specific, the last version, called the Starliner, had somewhat different wing, and some models had long-range wingtip tanks, although this one does not. The particular airplane has a very colorful history. It was, in fact, a TWA airliner for a couple of years, but unfortunately, this last model, the Connie, came out just about the time the jets were coming into service, and so obviously as a result they didn't stay in service very long. They wound up with second-tier carriers. Most of them ended up flying freight, and this one not only flew freight, but it flew, shall we say, some illicit freight of left-handed cigarettes before it bogged down on a muddy field somewhere trying to make a landing and was confiscated. It went through several owners, and the last one tried to get it back in flying condition, but it turned out to be a bit more of a challenge than he could handle, so it ended up getting restored as a display aircraft. Some of the fairings on it are actually fiberglass castings because some of the parts of the plane were missing. Kermit Weeks out at Planes of Fame allowed his Constellation to be used by the people who made the molds to make the fiberglass fairings. Just a useless piece of trivia there for you. So if you had the time, go out there and have a cocktail in the airplane. Listen to the smooth crooning tunes of Sinatra or Martin. And remember, there was a time when flying truly was a gentleman's affair. Or to put it in the words of Sideshow Bob,
ah, for the days when aviation was a gentleman's pursuit. Back before every Joe Sweatsock could wedge himself behind a lunch tray and jet off to Raleigh-Durham.
Perhaps we'll see those days again someday.